I gotta open this thing. Oh, shoot. Ford Pinto, actually, the thing explodes.
And here, you got nice-ish.
So it's been another day. I'm coming back to the Jeep. I need to finish trying to get this motor to run correctly. What I've done is I've got the carburetor back on, tight and everything, and I tested it. And it kind of runs with the carburetor, kind of, but I just put stuff down the carburetor. I didn't actually the carburetor wasn't sucking anything. So that's what we're doing now. I got a little fuel pump here that we're gonna hook up, put some fancy wiring on, put a fancy switch from O'Reilly's and a lot of fuel line. This doesn't look like enough fuel. I don't know, it might work. And we're gonna run it from a tank, which we're gonna put with the gas, and a ratchet strap right here, and we're gonna run it over to the carburetor, and then that's the moment of truth, if it's actually gonna run or not. I have no idea, it may not, but I really hope it does. I finally sweeped. That's all cleaned up now, so that's good. But we're gonna see if it'll run. I will be right back whenever this is all hooked up. So I actually decided to change my mind. I thought, what is better than ratchet strapping this sucker on here just like that, because there's no headlight. But I thought, what's better than ratchet straps than zip ties? So what I'm gonna do here is really perfection. I'm gonna fish this through here, through this fancy bracket, and I'm gonna get some nice tension action going on where it's zip tied to this bumper and these brackets up here. It's actually foolproof. I don't know why AMC didn't do this in the first place. You don't need a passenger light. You just really need a driver's side light that works. I mean, that's all anybody needs. And then just ratchet strap or zip tie your gas tank right onto the front of the car. Ease of access. Then that way you don't have to walk all the way back and you're like, oh crap, I'm like 96 years old and I gotta open this thing. Oh shoot. Oh my gosh. You see how much easier my plane is? Way easier, okay? It's not confusing, people. You just zip tie the gas tank to the front of the vehicle. That way if you get in a collision, it's like Ford Pinto action, the thing explodes, you're like, crap. It's, well, okay, yeah, you might be in burning flames, but this is just convenience over safety, and that's really all that matters at this point. Just check this out. We've already got this nice action going on right here. We have this side already zip tied, so I'm just gonna run one more zip tie. See, what we do here is, the key is to connect the two zip ties together, all right? Do this at home. This is a do-it-yourself project. If you own a Jeep, Wagoneer, or a full-size Jeep like this one, you're like, dude, I need a new gas tank. Don't get a new gas tank. Get one of these suckers, and then just zip tie it to your brackets here. You just run it through the handle again, zip tie that sucker down. Now you're like, well, what about this? Bro, I got a solution, okay? You take some more zip ties, all right? Got some more zip ties right here. Connect a few of them, okay? You have to run it over top of the tank right here. Connect a few of them, okay? Through the freaking, okay, grab one more zip tie. It's okay, this is just experiment. All right, slip that sucker right in there, just like God intended. Get it to the front. Why is this working like this? Come on, is that it? Oh, look at that. Just like the factory intended. No. Okay, see, now we do have a problem, because this one wants to go that way. There's an easy fix to this though, okay? I'm gonna show you what it is. Grab some more zip ties. How am I gonna do? I feel like this is a waste of zip ties and time. Yes! Oh, look at that! Man, somebody really needs to pay me more for what I do here. That is not going anywhere, I don't think. I don't know how that would be possible to move. Man! Now, to make this all fancy, grab yourself a nice pair of scissors and just start going to town on these ends, you know? You can't have that with your zip tie gas tank on the front. What is somebody gonna think? You drive up to a Prius and like, dang, you got zip ties hanging off, bro. That's not cool, man. And then I'm like, yeah, I know. Dude, I'm sorry, okay? I think every owner can agree, Prius or not, having these ends on the zip tie, that's just unacceptable. You really gotta clean that thing up. A good, respectable young boy or girl or whatever you are, and you clip the zip tie ends off your gas tank, okay? Look how much nicer that looks. It looks like it came off the factory line, people. We've got a couple things here. We've got this switch, which isn't open, but that can get fixed with razor blades. Yeah, I'm gonna cut myself. I'm not careful. Just open. There we go. Throw that in there. Open this sucker up. I got this fancy toggle switch. I'm like, oh snap, fuel pump's on, and now it's off. Easy money. So we're gonna just somehow hook this up. First, we're gonna cut some wire here. I'm gonna say about yay long, because I wanna make sure I got a long enough area. Okay, now we're gonna strip it. I've never used some wire strippers before. Oh snap, you got some readings here. See that? See that right there? See them little numbers? Well, this is what, 18 something whatever wire. Now you put it in the 18 slot. Oops, shoot, can't figure it out. Right, there you go. Put it in the 18 slot, pinch down, pull, and oh snap, you just stripped that wire. So now, oh, that was a little long. Anyway, I've got some crimper stuff. Get your crimping stuff. This is fancy. So what you do is you actually put the wires in both ends of this. You crimp it down, and then the nice thing about this that I've got is also heat shrink. So crimp it down and I heat shrink it. That's just another level of protection. Keep that in mind. Always have an extra level of protection. I hate it when that happens. There we go. Okay, so I'm opening that up. I'm gonna grab a couple of these out of here. So then I jam that wire in there, take my fancy crimper things, and I just crimp that sucker down. That sucker's not going anywhere. I do the same to the other side. Now, crimp that again. Open that sucker up, jam it all the way in there, and crimp that down. Look at that. Now, I'm gonna heat shrink this with a heat gun, but I don't have that out right now. So now, let's just pretend for a second I did heat shrink this. Oh shoot, now it's done. Now I wanna hook it up to my fancy dancy switch here. This says on and off sides on the switch. Gotta make sure, I think you gotta just make sure it's hooked up right, you know? Because then if you don't, then off will be on and on will be off. So I'm gonna loosen this screw up, even though it's not too terribly tight. Take my wire, get in there, wrap it around. That's good. Good for my liking. Now tighten that screw up. Tighten that thing up tight because you don't want that wire coming out. Because then that wire comes out, you're like, oh no, now my fuel pump doesn't work. What do I do? I just wired this on wrong. What? How did I do that? It's on the, oh my gosh. So after you've wired it on incorrectly, take it back off, go to the other side. That's correct. Now, correctly put your wire in there and tighten it up. Now, positive side's done. But you're like, what do you do with the negative side? I'm glad you asked. You grab the same color red wire. I'm just kidding, I'm not going to. I've already got a wire coming off of that, so I'm just gonna hook it directly to this, and we're ready to go. I think the best option for me right now is just to tuck this like down here. And here's the, wait a minute, it's already crimped on that. Oh dear, these are both crimped. That it's like, doesn't, it's okay. I'll just snip that off. Well, this is about to be madness ensuing. I have the gas tank on. I've got this fuel line jankily, ooh, is that actually in there? Yeah, it's in there. Rigged up here, coming up to my fuel pump that's just kind of dangling right now. I'll fix that later. All the cables are up. Everything's wired funky. Got the fuel line going to the carburetor. I have everything that's ready to maybe start this thing up and run for more than 2 seconds. Granted, the oil really needs to be changed. So this is not gonna run for more than any time at all, just to see if it'll work. But it might, we'll see. So I've got my fancy switch in here, which if I turn it on, wait a minute, what? It just stopped working. You know what helps? It helps when there's another end of the wire too. Let me fix that real fast. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, now we're ready. Both things are hooked up. You can hear the fuel pump. Okay, she's pumping some fuel. We're gonna turn that off. We are going to squirt the carburetor with some fluid, and let's see if this thing will fire up. Flip the switch. Alright, this is take 2. We're gonna see if we can get this thing to run. Put the switch back in the car. Got a little more starting fluid in here. I don't know if it's gonna start. That carburetor is really angry. It does not want to, it doesn't seem. So, grab our switch. Flip it on. Just keeps backfiring. I don't think it's in time. It sputters like that, and it doesn't really want to take it and go. And I think the carburetor is getting some gas in it. Guess I could take this off and see. That's probably a bad idea. Oh, no, it is not actually. What the heck? All right, so I finally got fuel going into the carburetor. So we're gonna do this again. All right, my lovely father is going to video. So I'm having a little trouble with the carburetor. So my fix is fixing the carburetor fix rebuilt kit. Here's how it works. You take 2 of these, very scientific by the way. You take carbon choke cleaner, O'Reilly brand of course, absolutely, and Seafoam top engine cleaner and lube. Okay, now what you want to do is shake these up real good and just let them eat. You know, just let them go at it. You know, really, just, yeah. That's all you really need to do. That should fix it, or it'll explode, one of the 2, but either way, something's gonna happen. I know that works every single time, for sure. Oh, yeah, the starter, it's sticking real bad.
So the starter was still...
Yeah, I was like, that's why it sounded so funky, but it is. Oh, I gotta turn that off. There's so many switches. There we go.
At least we made a huge mess out of everything.
Yep. What a day.
That's pretty sweet that it ran though.
I can't believe it right
You gotta work on the ignition switch to be able to get the starter.
now. Yeah, it started like
Kick out.
Stick. I'm gonna leave the
Well, it's
off.
the ignition switch, I think.
Well, yeah. Well, I know.
Yeah.
What was the thing? I unplugged it. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna start it and try to get the starter back.
Okay. Ooh. Hold on. It's not turning the motor over.
It's not?
Uh-uh.
Ooh, hey, it's a good thing. That's why you get a lifetime warranty on your starters, kids. Because when you blow them up, you get a new one.
Yeah, when
Why?
it was going fine, then you hear the starter grinding, and then when you shut it off, that banged really loud. I don't know what.
Because I need to get a new ignition switch. Because
We just instead of the radio, we have. I assume that has a battery in it.
first time it's ran in 24 years. Still needs a little work. Gotta go to O'Reilly's and get a new starter because the old one is broken. But that's why you get a warranty.
All
I'm
right.
gonna wrap it up for this episode. I gotta say, I've had a busy couple of weeks. I'm sorry if this video is gonna be a little all over the place because I've been filming this over like a week or 2. It's been a long time because I work and I have a job and other responsibilities other than this Jeep. Anyway, we will catch you in the next one after I fix the starter, figure out how the wipers turn off. That's mostly. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Hopefully you'll see this car again in an upcoming, well, you will see it again. It's here to stay. The big girl's here to stay. So anyway, we'll see you in a little bit.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds bad.